This is a story about story. Story is what makes human beings human. Story is how human beings have always made sense of the universe. We learn about the world through story, and story is how we experience reality itself. Story is literally everything, and just look around you. Stories everywhere. The entire multi-billion-dollar entertainment industry, including movies, television, books, music, theater, video games, even podcasts, runs on story. There is fierce competition for your attention and for your entertainment dollars. And the only law of the land is that the best story wins. Story is why you go to the movies. Story is why you get lost in a good book. And story is why you binge watch the latest show on your favorite streaming platform. But have you stopped to consider why you're willing to spend hours at a time in front of the television? Why do you want to get lost in some other story? The reason is that the best story wins. And the stories you find on television are usually better than the story of your life. But what if the next binge-worthy series on your list was the story of your life? What if the story of your life was more interesting, more exciting, more meaningful, and more fun than anything on Netflix? My name is Kevin B. Burke. I'm the headmaster of the Real Astrology Academy, and I'm the creator of The Human Game. The Human Game is a philosophy built on the idea that the universe is made up of stories. When you play The Human Game, you use the same storytelling tools that produce best-selling novels and blockbuster movies to improve your own story, making it more exciting, more meaningful, and more fun. When you play The Human Game, you can make the story of your life better than Netflix. But the most important thing to remember about The Human Game is it's a game. Games are optional. The point of playing games is to have fun. If you're not having fun, you don't have to keep playing. You can choose a new game at any time. The Human Game is a story about story. You play the human game in your mind, using your imagination and your creativity. In the story of The Human Game, you operate within a bubble of reality that contains the story of your life. The objective of The Human Game is to move your bubble of reality away from the lie of duality and towards the truth of unity. You do this by improving your story. Along the way, you can win 5 levels of prizes. The level 1 prize in The Human Game is fun. Fun is related to happiness, but it's not the same thing. Fun is like the chocolate sprinkles on the top of the ice cream sundae. When asked, would you like fun with that? The answer is always, sure. But fun on its own isn't too satisfying. It's the chocolate sprinkles without the ice cream. The level 2 prize in The Human Game is happiness. Happiness is the state or condition of being free from want and free from need. When you're happy, you don't have to do anything. Nothing demands your attention, you have no obligations and no responsibilities. Happiness doesn't mean you feel good. Happiness means you no longer feel bad. When you're happy, you have unlimited options, and you're free to choose any path that inspires you. The level 3 prize in The Human Game is prosperity. Prosperity is where you experience worldly success, and you always have enough resources to pursue your dreams. It may surprise you to learn you have to experience happiness before you can experience prosperity. The level 4 prize in The Human Game is joy. Joy is where you really start to feel good. But joy is more than just pleasure. Joy is expansive and indescribable. It has nothing to do with the material world because it is far bigger than your reality. The grand prize of The Human Game is meaning. When you reach the finish line of The Human Game, you get to know with every fiber of your being that your life matters. The story of your life is important and essential, and it serves a higher purpose. And you are exactly where you need to be and exactly who you need to be. But the most important prize in The Human Game is fun. If you're not having fun, there's no reason to keep playing the game. So let's take a moment and consider the nature of fun. Fun, almost by definition, is the opposite of serious. The more serious the situation, the less fun it is. A game is only fun when the stakes are low, when losing the game doesn't cost you anything. Winning the game might give you a moment of pleasure or happiness, but losing the game won't stop you from being happy or from experiencing joy. And because there's no cost to play the game and the outcome doesn't matter, just playing the game becomes a source of fun. When you lower the stakes and find the fun in your story, you win. This is the first skill you learn when you play the human game. But to do this, you need to understand some of the basic rules of story. Think of a story like a clock. The face of the clock is the narrative of the story. The hands of the clock move around the clock face in one direction, and the story itself embodies multiple cycles: the hour hand, the minute hand, and the second hand. Taken together, this tells you where, or more accurately, when, you are in time. A clock face is divided into 12 segments, but stories only need 3 segments, one for each act of the story. The 3 hands of the clock relate to the 3 levels of story. The hour hand is the theme level, the minute hand is the character level, and the second hand is the plot level. All 3 levels of story combine to form a bigger story, just as you combine the hour, minute, and second to know the precise time. But what you may not appreciate yet is that each level of a story is its own story. The plot level story is entirely different from the character level story, and the theme level story operates in its own dimension. Since each level of the story is its own story, let's give them each their own title. The title of the plot level story is Just the Facts, Ma'am. The plot level story is the objective sequence of events. It's what happened. This is the main story you notice when you engage with the story of your life. The title of the character level story is What's in It for Moi? The character level story is the story of the subjective experience of the external events. It's what happened to me, and why do I care about it? The title of the theme level story is The Da Vinci Code. The theme level story is based on symbols and hidden clues contained in the plot level and the character level stories. Your ultimate goal is to find the meaning and purpose of your life. If you're like most people, you believe that happiness will give your life meaning, and you also believe the way to achieve happiness is to get what you want. This approach to life creates tremendous stress and anxiety because the stakes are always high. If you don't get what you want, then you won't be happy, and if you aren't happy, then your life has no meaning. Getting what you want only puts you one step closer to being happy, but not getting what you want makes happiness and meaning even harder to find. This is what happens when you focus primarily on the plot level story. But when you play the human game, you're not limited to just one level of story. You play the game on 3 levels. You can overcome a challenge at one level of story by shifting your focus to a different level of story. Each level of story accomplishes a different goal. You can get what you want at the plot level, but you find happiness at the character level and meaning at the theme level. When you play the human game and explore the story of your reality, you have options. For example, getting what you want isn't the only way to be happy. You can experience happiness by meeting your needs. In fact, you can be completely happy without ever getting what you want. Getting what you want in the story of your life, whether it's money, or recognition, or success, or love, becomes a bonus. It can add to your happiness and it can add to your enjoyment of life, but if you don't get what you want, it doesn't take away from your happiness, and it won't stop you from finding the meaning and purpose of your life. When you lower the stakes, going after the things that you want becomes fun, and your life becomes less stressful. This video is part of an ongoing series of free mini-classes that explore the possibilities of the human game. If you'd like to see more, visit playthehumangame.com and register for the free Human Game Introduction class. And if you'd like to experience the human game for yourself, I can help you with that. When you visit playthehumangame.com, you can also learn about the human game coaching packages. Thanks so much for spending this time with me. I'll see you in the next class.